Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kang and this is Kang's Tarot. So today's reading is all going to be about your September predictions, so you can better prepare for what's to come in the next 30 days or so. So we have 4 groups for you to choose from today. I'm going for a fall theme, that's why everything is kind of orangey. It's just like I've placed just random objects on each of these, so you can be drawn to the back artwork and front artwork, which I will show you in a bit, or you can be drawn to the object, or a combination of any of those. To break it down, first we'll look at a general energy of the month, just like what you're going to be, like the main theme of the month. And then we'll look into your specific aspects, so relationships, career, studies, self-development, and daily life. So daily life is more like logistical things like routine or just your home life, I guess. And then we'll look into important dates and events, so any like specific time periods that you should like pay attention to, or like, yeah, just anything that kind of stands out in the month that you are allowed to know at this point. And then finally we'll do some guidance and advice. And yeah, just a disclaimer again, this is a general reading, and I'm just a pair of talking hands on the internet, so don't take anything too seriously. This is for entertainment purposes, and yeah, just take what resonates and whatever doesn't, let it go. Don't base your big life decisions on these readings, and watch tarot responsibly. Okay, so I'm going to show you the cards up front. So for pile number 1, we have this thank you message in a bottle, and your card is overflowing wealth. I love that. For pile number 2, you have this thing, like this, I don't even know what this is, some kind of fruit or some kind of plant, but I picked it up on the road, and yeah. And your card is north, south, east, west. For group number 3, we have this little squirrel friend that I also just picked up on the road somewhere. And your card is containing multitudes. For pile number 4, you have this little keychain cat with a orange bandana, and your card is maternal energy. Take as much time as you need to pick your pile, and I'll see you in your reading. Hi there, Power One. If you chose the thank you message in the bottle and the overflowing wealth oracle card, this will be your reading. So right off the bat, even before we pull any cards, these 2 items just make me think that one of the main themes of September for you is going to be a lot to do with gratitude. Maybe it's you expressing gratitude to the people in your life, to the things that you've gained, and the things that you have right now. But it also could be about other people expressing gratitude towards you, like how lucky they are to have you in their life. So I think that's a big thing that you're being asked to focus on, or you will be not forced, but you'll be pushed to focus on more. Okay, let's pull some cards for your energy, like overall energy of September, and then we'll pull some cards for more specific aspects. Okay, spirits, pile 1, September 2024. What's gonna be like? Okay. We have 2 of coins, or 2 pentacles. Okay. We have the High Priestess, and we have the Fool. Okay. So, I think one of the big themes of this month is, I think a tough period in your life will come to an end. It does feel like September is going to be quite transitional for you, so maybe not a lot of things will happen externally. But I think you will kind of come to a realization, or like any big events that happen for you in September is going to be from your own doing. I don't think it's anything that's going to be sprung upon you that are unexpected. I think if there's an ending, there seems to be a new beginning here with the fall. But I think that you will start that by yourself. It's not something that will happen to you necessarily. Two of coins, I think you've been weighing your options about something, or you've been in a situation where, or you are in a situation right now where it's hard to decide, is what I'm hearing. Like maybe let's say you really want to buy something, but maybe you don't have a lot of funds for that. Like maybe you have your savings, but you haven't saved specifically to buy this thing, but now you feel like you really need it, or like you're in a circumstance where this thing that you need to buy will be very beneficial for whatever you choose to do. But you don't have enough funds saved for that. And so you're kind of weighing your options of like, maybe I should wait a little bit until I like save enough money for this, or maybe I should ask for loans or something to get this, because I'm hearing this thing that you're trying to invest into buying, or like maybe investing your time into. It doesn't have to be like a tangible object. Like in your soul that it's gonna bring you, like it aligns with your life purpose, is what I'm hearing. Like that this is what you're supposed to do. This is part of your life purpose. Yeah, this is part of what you want to do with your life and what you think that is meant for you. So you really feel strongly about this thing, but like logically or realistically, I guess, that there's a lot of elements at play, and maybe you can't pursue this right away. So I think September, you will get out of that decision paralysis phase of your life, and you will enter into a phase where you trust yourself more and you trust your intuition, and maybe some event could happen that is unrelated to you that will inspire you to take this action and just take a leap of faith. I'm hearing with the full here, like really, maybe September is not like when you actually started. Let's say you really want to start a business of baked goods, like you really want to sell cookies, or you really want to crochet or something, like start some kind of business. I'm not hearing like September is it's a month that you will actually start that. It's like it's not like, I'm hearing you will get into the mode of actually officially researching for it and laying the groundwork for it. It doesn't seem like you will actually, like, let's say you want to open the store. It doesn't seem like you will actually, like, the store will actually be open in September. It seems like you'll be doing a lot of like looking for investors, or like looking for collaborators, and just like researching the industry a lot more. Again, it doesn't have to be a job or like some kind of creative endeavor. It can be literally anything in your life. Maybe you want to start some kind of hobby, and like maybe it's like way out of left field for you. Maybe you've never really been, let's say you want to start like playing a sport, and maybe you've never been really active in your life before this point. So September seems like where you will be researching about like what kind of equipment you need for that sport, or what kind of clubs you can join with the people who also want to play that sport. You know what I mean? Like kind of laying the groundwork, but actually not really like taking action, but not those action not really coming into fruition just yet. It seems like baby steps is what I'm hearing. But one of the main themes, I think you will be very sure about your actions this month. Like you will be very intuitive is what I'm hearing with the High Priestess here. Maybe you are spiritual or like religious in some way, and maybe I think one of the main themes of this month is you receiving a lot of signs and synchronicities, either from spirits, if you believe in them, or the universe, if you believe in that, or any kind of deity of your religion. I think you'll be very highly intuitive and highly in tune with your life purpose. I keep hearing life purpose. Maybe that's the word that you use for your life. Yeah, and you will come out of a place of confusion and indecision and laying the groundwork for what you want to go next. Yeah. I think though, like, because this two coins came out, I think at the beginning of the month you will still kind of be in that energy a little bit, but then by the middle of the month ish, you will gain some new perspective from something that happens outside of you. So could be one of your friends, or not even friends, like someone you like, some acquaintance that you follow on social media. Maybe they successfully start a business, or they successfully start doing something that they've never done, and that inspires you to also follow your dreams, you know. So yeah, very beautiful energy, very transformative energy here. So let's get into the specific aspects of your September. Okay, so spirits, I'll pull 2 cards for pile 1's close relationships. It can be any kind of relationships. Okay, we have, that's too many cards. 2 for close relationships, and then we'll pull 1 for other kind of relationships. So could be any kind of people that you might be seeing at work, or like if you work in, like, oh my god, look at this. Yeah, it could be like people that you have to deal with in your life, but you don't really consider them to be close. So could be neighbors, could be just like acquaintances, or like if you go to social events, could be like people that you meet there. Okay, and see your career and or studies. Take 2 cards for that. Oh, 3. Okay, 3. So there might be a lot of things happening for you, or like you might be taking a lot of steps towards your career and studies, which actually really align with your general theme of the month. Also, I forgot to mention, overflowing wealth could very much be like actual financial success. So it's kind of giving passive income to me. So maybe something that you invested in a long time ago, or like maybe you put a lot of money in your savings like a long time ago, and now you got a lot of interest out of it. Or let's say you like publish like a song or something, or a book, and maybe it didn't really do well in the past, but now like you're getting all your royalties back, and you see like, oh, I actually am making a lot of money from this. But yeah, that's, I don't think that's for all of you, but for some of you, if you invested in something in the past, I'm seeing it will come back and show you how fruitful that endeavor is. Maybe it has something to do with you wanting to pursue it. Maybe it is this thing that you're trying to start, but it doesn't have to be. It can be something completely different. Okay, so for your self-development, let's see how many cards we have. Okay, 1 for self-development. Okay, move this a little bit. And finally, for your daily life, so like just like kind of predictions about your routine. Oh my god, that came out. Okay, the Emperor. Your routine, or like logistical things, and just like, yeah, just your home life, just your daily life, like mundane things in your daily life. Okay. So for your close relationships, we have 9 of Wands and the Hierophant. Okay. So I think some of you might be working with a family member. That's just like for some of you, but that message just came through. I think for the most part, okay, there's a message of Nine of Wands here. Usually the Nine of Wands is showing like a person, but in this deck, most of the numbered suits cards, they don't have like a human on it. But you see the sun setting here. So I think there's some cycle coming to an end, or there's some, I think with this Nine of Wands and the Hierophant, I think with some close relationship, with a certain close relationship, you will come to realization that it has run its course, is what I'm hearing. Or like there's nothing else you can do in this situation is also what I'm hearing. But I'm thinking you come to that realization, but you still keep the status quo. So let's just say, for example, if you have a friend group and maybe you are close with a lot of them, but maybe with one person, you've been kind of on the rocks with them for the past couple months or something. This could be like you kind of come to a realization like, oh, I'm never actually just gonna get closer to them as much as I am close to the other people in the group. And then, but you don't do anything about it. I don't see a confrontation. It's like, I feel like this is what you feel inside, but you still keep the status quo and keep the group dynamic going and not address it. Another example could be like someone in your family. Maybe you really try to like give them the benefit of the doubt in the past with some actions of them that you think are wrong. But then you get to a point this month, I think you get to a point where you realize there's no use in that anymore, and you kind of just give up on that. Like you're not telling them that you're not trying anymore. You just like, you decide that for yourself, and you just let it be normal. And like, I'm hearing like, keep your routine, keep going with your routine and not changing anything about it, even though you realize that it's time to go, or like it's time to end something, but you're still keeping a routine. Or it could be like someone at work, I guess. Maybe you really want to get to know someone better, or like get closer to someone at work. And then in this coming September, you realize, oh, it's no use. Like they're not gonna, like, no matter how hard I try, like they're not gonna open up. So you kind of stop trying, but you also just don't mention that to them. You just kind of like, like keep being coworkers with them, but you don't try anymore. It's what I'm hearing. Okay, that's pretty specific. If you don't resonate to any of those energies, I'm hearing like maybe with your close relationships, I think you might be getting burnt out by how many of close relationships that you might have. It's not something to do with a specific person or like that specific relationship, but I think you're being quite burned out by maybe meeting people all the time, or like maybe you're a very good like advice giver, and so all your friends like come to you for advice, and you're feeling a little bit burnt out by it. You're feeling a bit overwhelmed by that, but even so, I think you don't. Yeah, I keep hearing like keep moving on, and you don't really do a lot about it. Yeah. Okay. So for your other relationships, like not close relationships, people you might deal with in your daily life, or people you might meet at a certain event but then never talk to again, or acquaintances. Okay, Knight of Coins. I think, okay, there's a specific message about someone coming in with an offer, like a job opportunity. Maybe this is something to do with this, and I don't think there's a vibe of you not accepting this offer, but then from this, you kind of realize your own worth if that makes sense. So yeah, let's just stick to the example of you like wanting to start like a baked goods business. Maybe this is like a local like grocery store, and they heard through the grapevine that you're starting up your own business, and so they want to like collaborate with you. And even though you don't accept this offer, just the fact that they reach out to you shows you that you have what it takes to pursue this. And so it motivates you to like go forward and like research and lay the groundwork for whatever, like for this business that you're trying to establish. That's just an example. But I think in your social circles that you're not too close with, there could be one person or multiple people who will come to you and who will reach out with some kind of offer, some kind of, even if it's not something that's paid, it could be some opportunity to like show up somewhere or like to volunteer. It's what I'm hearing as well. But it seems like this offer is something that will take time. So it could be like a startup or a nonprofit or organization. I'm hearing you're not gonna accept this offer, but it will motivate you on your own journey. Overall, in the social side, I don't think you'll be focused a lot on making new connections or deepening your connections at this time. I think you will kind of, like keep the status quo and like keep going. I think in September, you'll be mostly focusing on your own business or your own self-development and your own growth, and whatever this is that you're pursuing, rather than, and it seems like something that you have to do on your own, or maybe that's what you're telling yourself. But yeah, I think the social aspect is not going to be much of a concern or like something that you think a lot about in September. Okay, about career and studies, there's 3 cards here. We have 10 of Wands, we have 3 of Coins, okay, and we have 8 of Swords. Okay, so I think 3 of Coins. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, I think, I definitely think your general theme of the month, it has to do with something with your job or like with your current studies. Maybe you want to change your major if you're in college or something. But what this is showing me is, like I said, there will be some kind of breaking point that you will reach. And I think it comes from like burning out too much, or like, and it comes from self-doubt too. Like 8 of Swords is very like self-doubt energy. Okay, I think you will experience burnout, and I think you will experience like being overwhelmed by your surroundings, and about like being too tired of whatever you're doing for work or studies. It seems like this is something that you used to be very excited about, and you used to feel a lot of passion and creativity and freedom when you do this thing. But it seems like after this period of time of you like maybe having to overwork yourself or overextend yourself too much, you kind of experience, I'm hearing imposter syndrome too. You experience like you're just doing things on autopilot now, and it makes you anxious, and it will make you in September. Like you will reach a point where you feel like, oh, this is not fun anymore. Like this is not what I signed up for. I think you will have a lot of self-doubt, a lot like around like making the wrong decision regarding your career and studies. But I think that like you need to get to this point to start this new chapter. I think all of this will happen even before the middle of the month, or maybe by like a little bit half the middle point. And then we have the 3 of coins here. Usually this card is about collaboration and working with other teammates, and just like everyone being a really crucial part of the process. But I think with the 3 of coins here, specifically, I think it's about being resourceful. I think you will, because of this burnout, because of this overwhelmingly like difficult time, I think you would choose to either leave this type of job or this type of work entirely, or have a new approach, or change to a new part, like a new division is what I'm hearing. So let's say if you're a teacher, and you've been teaching like high school kids, maybe it's not like you quit teaching, but I think you could be changing to like teaching like middle school kids, or maybe you're trying to like be a college professor now. You're not interested in teaching kids anymore. You want to teach like college courses as an example. So I think like you will use what you've already learned in this previous situation, but you will look at it with a new perspective and see how you can like utilize it in your new endeavor. 3 cons feel very like, in this case specifically, I just feel like it's very youthful energy and like a novice kind of vibe. In the original like Rider-Waite 3 of Pentacles, it shows like a person, it shows collaboration, but it shows a person like asking for help or like feedback from 2 other people who seems like senior to them. This seems more to have some more superiority to them. So I think in this case you might be asking for help from other people. Yeah, and I'm just noticing this, like the 3 coins, there's like a halo here that looks similar as well. So this could be tied to this person, like this person that not in your close relationship circles, could be like a teacher or a mentor in some kind, or like a person who's been in the industry longer than you, or maybe the person, if you're trying to break into a new industry, maybe this is someone that you will go and ask for advice. It seems like you will step into an energy of like being a beginner again, and using what you've learned from your previous job experience or your previous like studies, to like inform you in your new endeavor. But I think 3 of Coins also like makes me think of, it seems like, okay, on a numerical sense, it seems like you've learned, let's say you learned 10 things in your previous job about this industry, but then you kind of jump into an industry that is kind of adjacent, so you can still use those 10 things, but it has to be only like in this new industry, those 10 things is only condensed into 3, so you still got 7 more things to learn, if that makes any sense. It seems like whatever knowledge you gain from your previous job, or like this job that you're about to leave, or this major, or this endeavor, like this industry that you're about to leave, whatever you learn from it, you can't bring all of it to your new job because it's not going to be helpful. So you're kind of picking and choosing whatever you bring to your new job, whatever you're bringing to your new journey. Choosing and picking and like being nitpicky about what you choose to bring is like this 2 of Coins energy as well. I'm also hearing this could be like you going abroad to study somewhere, and for some of you, going abroad to study somewhere and only packing the things that you need. It seems like you might have a lot of things that you like it's like really near and dear to you, but it's not necessary for you to bring in your new journey, if that makes sense. So you're kind of in that process of like, yeah, just picking and choosing what you can bring and what you need to learn and what you need to gain in that new journey. Yeah. Okay. So about your self-development, we have Page of Wands. Okay, so Page is also very novice energy, very like beginner, a learner, like someone who is just starting out kind of energy. But Wands, the Wand suit, it's very like passionate and hot-headed and full of creativity. So I think you're stepping into an energy of someone who is eager to learn and eager to grow, but you're very excited about it. It's not like something that you feel like you have to do, or like you're I'm hearing like going back to step one, but you're not feeling down about it. I feel like you're very excited about this new journey. I think at the beginning of the month, or like maybe up until even the halfway point of the month, you will feel a lot of self-doubt. But I think once this moment clicks of like your internal knowledge and like your internal wisdom clicks, and you decide to like pursue whatever this is, I think your mindset just changed in a second, is what I'm hearing. Your mindset just comes from like, oh, I'm leaving it all behind and I am starting anew, and I'm really excited for this new journey that I'm stepping into. Okay, so I think like this, your general energy of the month has like really strong ties to your career and studies specifically, but I think your career and studies is a really big part of who you are. Maybe you put a lot of work into your work ethic, or like your way of like, maybe you have a lot of pride surrounding like retaining information and learning new stuff, or you put a lot of your self-worth into your work. So I think this change in direction is a very like big part for yourself, like your internal self as well. It's not just about like surviving. It's not about just making money, or like pursuing something that, you know, like is just like proving to be like a fruitful life for others. It's not like making a friend. It's actually really important to your true self. So I think like this is a really exciting new journey for you. And yeah, this is just like a really beautiful energy of being excited for a new chapter of your life. Yeah. Okay. Your daily life, we have the Emperor. I think this came out like face up like this too. So I think like there could be a very prominent masculine figure in your life. Doesn't have to be a man, but could be. But just like could be slightly controlling as well. Someone who is, or if this is not a person, this could be a system that you kind of follow, or you are conditioned to follow, or like you are pressured into. It's kind of cliche to say patriarchy, but it has like the Emperor is literally patriarchy. Yeah, so I think in your daily life, I think the thing that maybe it was so hard for you to decide is because you have this person, or the system keeps whispering into your ear that you have to do a certain thing, or you have to follow a certain path. And so with this being here in the daily life section, I think you will, maybe that's why you will not start yet in September, because you still haven't escaped this Emperor energy, or this Emperor person just yet. Maybe let's say you are living with your parents and they are still like providing you with like financial things, like you don't pay rent, and you know, like they still cook meals for you, like things like that. Like they're still, maybe your parents or parent still like financially support you. And so right now you're doing something that they want, but then you realize you don't want that anymore, and so you're trying to like pivot to another thing, but because you don't want to disappoint them, or like there's some kind of expectation or some kind of like tradition that you need to uphold, and because you're still living with them, you can't really take action on this dream or this new endeavor just yet. You're laying the groundwork for that action, but you're not actively taking the action just yet, because you can't, because this person is still here, or this system is still here and still like speaking into your ears. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. So for important dates and events, we're gonna use Uno. I know I don't think I've ever seen anyone use Uno like in readings like this, but I've used them a few times when it comes to numbers, because you know Uno is all about numbers and colors, and they've been surprisingly accurate. So let's see, what are some important dates in September for you, and what is the vibe of, okay, those want to come together. Okay, this come right away. Okay, let's take one more actually. Okay, and let's see what's the vibe of those dates, like what's the event that's going to happen in each of these that you should know about at this point. Okay. Okay. So we have 8, we have 4, we have 4, 5. So this could be the 9th, or it could be, because we don't have the date 45 on the calendar, obviously. So it could be the 9th, or 4 p.m. on the 5th, or something like that. Like 4 and 5 could go together in some way. Or this, actually it doesn't feel like dates in this one specifically. It could be like, I'm hearing it could be like a street address or something, or some, like when you see the number 45 or 54, it could be a sign that something's happening soon. And then finally we have 8 again. Okay, so 8 seems to be pretty significant. So the 4th of September, the 8th of September, maybe the 9th, or the 5th as well, the 5th. Okay, so the events that might be happening: Justice and King of Cups. Okay, some truth might come out. Again, this King of Cups kind of gives me the energy of the Emperor a little bit. Like, he seems a little bit angry. Usually King of Cups is like really, like, he looks very generous and like loving and compassionate, but in this one he looks pretty angry. So it's kind of giving Emperor to me. So I think maybe this Emperor person will come out and tell you some truth that has been, I'm hearing, like a long time coming. Or maybe you will realize some truth. You will realize some some balance and karma in your life that's relating to this patriarchal, or this, it doesn't have to be patriarchal, but some kind of like traditional system that you have in your mind. Maybe you will have an epiphany about that. Maybe you realize like, oh, maybe I actually don't want to follow that system. Maybe I want to craft my own path. But it seems like around the 8th or the 9th of September that will happen, or something will cause that to happen. Like some truth will come out. Yeah, Knight of Wands. Yeah, seems like from this you might take some action towards yourself. Like maybe, yeah, this also feels very like novice kind of energy. So again, like I said, like whatever you're trying to start, you're not gonna like it's not gonna come into fruition just yet in September. But I think this is you, after you realize this thing, you will be rejuvenated, is what I'm hearing, like in very like moving forward energy, and like just like jumping into battle kind of energy. And finally we have Ace of Wands. Again, a lot of Wands energy. So yeah, it's something you're very passionate about. Once you realize this truth, I think you will, it's gonna be like very smooth and very exciting for you afterwards. Like you will be so inspired, and you will have so many ideas that you can implement into this new endeavor. Okay, so to recap, some important numbers: 4, 5, 8. The 8th and the 4th and the 9th could be significant. Yeah, okay. Finally, we'll get some guidance and advice. I have this Hidden Worlds Oracle deck that it's just so drop dead gorgeous. Like I just got it, but I am obsessed with the imagery of this deck. So I hope it will bring you some clarity and some reassurance. Okay. Advice on what you can do now in your life. Okay, we have the Gathering, community, kinship, companionship. Okay, beautiful. Okay, it's not focusing. The relics of Lemuria, fragments, memory, reclaiming. Okay. And the meditation, peace, relief, sanctuary. Again, number 5 could be very significant, because we have 5 here and we have 5 here. 26, that is, you can, like in numerology, you can add that up to 8. So 8, again, very significant. 3 and 3 is 6. So yeah. Okay, so the Gathering, like I said, I don't think there's a big emphasis on community or like friends or just like deep connections in this month. But I think this Gathering is you and the fragments of yourself. I think these kind of all 3 of these kind of go together. Like there's a theme of like reclaiming what's true, like the true essence of yourself. This also makes me feel like, this kind of reminds me of the 12 Dancing Princesses. So either the fairy tale or the Barbie version. Yeah, so like something that you did in the past is kind of giving me that vibe. Sorry. So something that you maybe did as a child, and you're kind of coming back to that. So this new endeavor could have something to do with that. So maybe not like a direct link, but some kind of adjacent to that. Let's say you used to like play around with like 3D models, like you used to like pose 3D models that you download from the internet or something, and now you want to be like an animator, like, or a 3D modeler. Or you could like want to like 3D print things. Let's say that, like maybe you want to make a business out of 3D printing. So yeah, there's an emphasis on like reconnecting with your inner child and what you used to really like, but you kind of abandoned it for growing up and for like being an adult. I'm hearing like an advice is like reclaiming your memories, and maybe find community in that. I'm saying like I'm seeing here that your close relationships are not like you're just gonna follow the status quo, but maybe there's some merit in learning, in like being a novice and learning from others in the community that you used to participate in. So maybe some fandom or some maybe like online community of this interest that you used to be into could be very, very informative in your new endeavor here. Yeah. And then meditation is just like, yeah, peace, relief, sanctuary. If you have time in your calendar, and you can afford to do this, maybe like just like spend like 10 to 15 minutes every day to listen to the music that you like, or listen to the sounds that you like. Maybe you like sounds of the forest, or yeah, if you live close to where you can actually go out to nature, I think that will be very, very helpful, to like just spend some time every day or every other day, or like maybe once or twice a week even, to just connect with yourself more and like find what you actually really desire, and like kind of reflect that with what your current situation is. And like maybe you don't have to like follow exactly like what you wanted yourself to become as a child, but maybe finding a good like middle ground is it's better than staying stuck in this energy that you don't want to be in. Yeah, just like finding more peace in your life and rest. I'm hearing just rest more if you can afford to do that, and just give yourself more time to reconnect with your younger self and with the things that you used to be interested in, or maybe you still are interested in, and just give yourself that time and space to really connect with yourself. Yeah. Okay, that's all the messages I have for you today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that it was helpful. I hope you have a great September. It seems like it's really gonna be transformative, so best of luck on that journey. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi there, Pile 2. If you chose this shriveled up fruit and this north, south, east, west oracle card, this will be your reading. Okay. So we're gonna get some cards for your general energy of September, and then we'll get some cards for your specific aspects of this month. Okay. So spirits, Pile 2, general themes this month for Pile 2. Okay, this came out face up, so I think this is pretty significant. Honestly, even with just this and north, south, east, west, I think there's going to be a lot of connecting with nature and connecting with, or if you're not going to be out in nature, or like you don't live near where you can go out to nature, I think there's going to be a lot of connecting with just like the idea that the universe is vast, and like the earth is very vast, and like just how small humans are. There's a sense of like, like sublime art. So like sublime art is kind of essentially it's just showing natural disasters, or like just big events that nature take hold, and it shows the scale between how big nature is versus how small humans are. So I think that's going to be one of the bigger themes. Okay, Knight of Cups, beautiful. Page of Coins, oh my god, this is so beautiful energy. I think the main themes of this month is, and more nature in this card too. Like seeing things in a bigger picture, and seeing things in context with each other. Seeing things more holistically, and looking at your past and present and future all at once, and not disregarding one for another, and seeing your potential, but also seeing all the mistakes and all the downfalls and all the heartbreaks of the past kind of built you up to where you are right now. Knight of Cups, there could be like some kind of offer that brings in a lot of fulfillment within yourself. But it also could be like connecting with your more emotional side within yourself. Regardless, I think there's a lot of chance to be more sentimental and like really, really feel your feels this month. And I think the balance between feelings and like more like critical thinking, like logical thinking, is going to be very beneficial, and it will bring in a lot of chances to grow and chance to improve, and it will make you realize a lot of things, a lot of patterns, a lot of like subconscious thought that you maybe before this month, or like maybe right now, you don't realize it's like affecting you, but it actually is. Like, I think throughout September you will learn how to love yourself more, and you will learn how to, like, you will learn that a lot of your subconscious thoughts, like the patterns of how you're thinking, will affect your day-to-day life and your pattern of actions. And you will see how connected everything it really is with north, south, east, west here, and how in control and also out of control you are with life, and like how the balance of being in control and like surrendering and letting go is like really, it's actually a blessing and not something that should be seen as a challenge. um I think you will, yeah, I think there's a lot of chances where you might you might um you might have chances to talk to people who have more experience than you, in whatever way that is. It could be someone older who have lived more and like have more lived experiences. It could be someone um who have been in an industry that you're in, who is like have a lot more knowledge, or maybe who have someone who have been through a lot of hardships in their life, and like through the sharing of experiences, I think there's a lot of chances of learning more, and like not just about the world around you, but about yourself. um there's a lot of planning, I think from this more like holistic understanding of the world around you and about yourself. I think a lot of plans are being made maybe towards the end of this month more, about like how to move forward. And yeah, yeah, there's just like really beautiful potential for growth here, and just like being really in tune with your emotions and in tune with the rhythm of the universe is what I'm hearing. um yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of fun activities that you're gonna do that will make you feel more connected and feel more grounded in, maybe in the community that you're in. Maybe a scenario that I'm kind of seeing is like, maybe you started a job this month, or maybe last month, even maybe in July, and you feel like maybe during the time that you've been at this job you haven't really felt like you found your place yet. And I think it's in September that is definitely something that's gonna happen. Like, September is gonna bring in that feeling of belonging, and that feeling of like seeing things in context, um, and feeling everything is connected. And I think there's also a sense of like being okay with not being too productive, like conventionally productive, like spending time in nature, and like spending time hanging out with friends or loved ones, or like anyone that you want, or like just with yourself, and like having shaking off, I'm hearing like shaking off that guilt of, like spending times on like pointless things. Like, you will come to a point of understanding that your needs and your wants and your desires are valid as well, and it's not just about like hustling, it's not just about working or like being productive all the time. It's about like taking a breather and feeling your feels, and like feeling connected to the earth that you walk on, and feeling grateful for all that you have. Yeah, like really, really, really beautiful energy here. Like very peaceful energy. I think if you have been going through a rough time, or like maybe, yeah, I think maybe you just ended a like rough cycle. I think this is very, very like positive in a way that like it is gonna be like a very peaceful time where you collect your marbles, if you say. And yeah, just for you to ground yourself and like plan for the future. Yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna get into specific aspects of your life in September. So first we'll do close relationships. So like the relationships that you consider are intimate in your life, doesn't have to be romantic. It can be, but it can be literally anything else. Could be friends, family, could be like at your job, or like with someone you consider is close. Whatever you want to label it. Okay, so we got 2 cards for that. Spirits, pile 2. Okay. And then we'll see your relationships, but like not close. So like your acquaintances, or if you work in a public facing job, it could be like the people that you have to deal with, but you don't necessarily consider them to be close in your life. Okay. And then we'll do a few cards for career and studies for September. Actually, just 1 card. Okay. And then actually, okay, career and studies, anything else? Okay. Okay. The Hermit just flew out. And then we'll do self-development. So, oh my god, that's too many. Too many spirits. Let me try again. So, your self-development, I'm hearing there might be points where you have been, or you still are, a little bit impatient. And I think this month is going to teach you a lot of lessons about being patient. Or like, I'm hearing maybe you are already on that journey of learning how to be patient. And I think this month you will really step into that energy of like really trusting the universe, like trusting karma is what I'm hearing, or destiny, and just like living your life and not worrying too much about how things would turn out, or like when things would come in for you, and just kind of like living your life. Okay. So this is close relationships, other types of relationships, career, studies, and self-development. Okay, I'll take 1 or 2 cards about your daily life. So it could be like finances, your living situation, anything about like just mundane routine, like if there's anything that we should keep in mind. Okay, just 1 card for this. Okay, so for your close relationships, we have the Moon and Page of Swords. Okay. Interesting. There might be some kind of, might be someone you have not really been in contact with for a while. Either they don't talk to you, or you don't talk to them, or you both like mutually agree to not talk to each other for a bit. I'm seeing that person, you will meet up with that person, or you will come into contact with that person again in September in your close relationship. So take whatever resonates, but seems like during that time, or maybe even during September before you meet up with them, you both will go through some kind of transformation in the way that you think about each other. Maybe some truths will come out, and yeah, maybe you both will come to I'm hearing a different conclusion about how things ended or how things paused, and that will inspire a meeting. I think some kind of communication will come in, or there will be like an opportunity for a communication to come in. If you don't want that to happen, or they don't want that to happen, there is a chance that it might not happen, but there is some kind of opportunity being created for you to take it. Yeah, and I think that conversation, or like those conversations that you will have with them, with this person, will be, it will, at first it might seem a little bit hostile. That's what I'm, there might be like a hostile kind of vibe at first, but I think at the end of it all, it will end a lot of confusion around the situation. I think throughout the time of you two not talking, I think you both gained a lot of perspective, and this talk would definitely bring some kind of closure to this. And I'm hearing the amicable. I don't think it's gonna be something that is like specifically like happy. But I think it will make you two like content, I think. So whatever happens between you and this person, just know that you're getting some clarity soon, but it's not gonna be, yeah, it seems like it's more like a melancholic, bittersweet kind of conversation, or conversations that you're gonna have. And but I think after it there will be a lot of peace, for you and for them, whether you end up like keep being in contact or not. I think this talk, or like this confrontation, um, will bring forth a lot of peace for both of you individually or together. It's different for a lot of you. This is a general reading, so there's like it can go different ways. But yeah. Okay, for your, this is like very specific energy, but I don't really see anything else coming through. Um, I think if anything is, regardless of your like the status of your relationship with this person, um, yeah, having this talk will bring forth a lot of peace. There's nothing else coming through right now. So yeah. And then with your other relationships, Seven of Cups and Nine of Wands. Okay. So you might be dealing with children. Usually the page is like children, and like Knight usually I associate with like teenagers. So maybe teenagers, but like, or it doesn't have to be children. It can just be someone who has a very like fiery spirit. Seven of Cups. I think there might be some options. I'm hearing like maybe you want to buy like an electronic, and and you kind of like, maybe this is like a the sales assistant and like the sale associate, and they're just trying to like sell you on like all these different options of which model should you buy. And like it turns out to be like a lot more complicated than you expected to be. There's a sense of like something being more complicated than you expect it to be. So for example, if you work in like a customer service, maybe you have to deal with someone who is like very fiery, and maybe they wanted like a refund or something, and you thought like, oh, I can just like process this refund, process this return, and that's going to be it. But it seems like there might be some complications afterwards that is a little bit confusing. So yeah, just be aware of that. There might be some situations that you might think is like really easy, and like it's really just like it's simple, like I've done this a million times. But there might be some situations like that where you will meet someone who has like more demand. I'm hearing more demands than you're used to, and it might lead to some confusion. Let me actually get one more card for this, because I feel like I need one more clarifier. Okay, Ace of Swords. Okay. Regardless though, I think with these type of situations that you're going to be in this month, like dealing with people who are a little bit more hot-headed like that, I think at the end of all of those situations, or this specific, it could be just like one time thing, but it leaves like an impression. Regardless though, I think at the end of it all, I think you will gain some kind of new truth. So like, for example, back to that example of you working a customer service job, maybe you had to deal with a customer who's a little bit more difficult, and it leads to complications, and maybe that will snap you out and like make you realize that you're not good for this type of work. That's just an example, but it's like something that comes to mind. It's like throughout these nuisances is what I'm hearing. Nuisances, or this like these setbacks of like things being more complicated than you think they were. I think some truth will come out that you will realize about yourself or about the situation you're in. And I think that will be very beneficial for you to move forward. Yeah, I'm also hearing like maybe the themes of this month being like so like focusing on how you feel, like prioritizing your well-being, and like just like meditative kind of energy of like connecting to the earth is a result of you coming to a realization that you don't really belong to this situation where you have to deal with people who are hot-headed and like who is difficult, like unnecessarily difficult. And that will, like I'm hearing enlightenment. That will enlighten you to realize that what you actually want is just to be at peace. Yeah. Okay. So with career and studies, the Sun and Hermit, actually really pretty opposing energies, but yeah. Okay, so I think this month you might be taking a break from work, or like if not like a real like a holiday, or like like quitting a job or something. I think you're definitely like taking it more slow with your work and just literally go out and enjoy the sun more. I think this really aligns with these of like connecting with nature and like seeing things more holistically. You might be traveling to somewhere where it's more sunny than where you are right now. So I know like right now I think it's winter, or like I guess kind of the end of winter in Australia. So if you're in Australia, maybe you're like traveling to somewhere where it's like a little bit more sunny. I know like in the west of the world right now, it's like transitioning from summer into fall, so it's not even like that hot anymore. But just like, yeah, like take that acid resonance. You don't have to be traveling. But I think like there's gonna be a lot of more opportunities to kind of just take it slow and like focusing on your internal world more, like spending more time with just yourself. I think in your work or studies, maybe in the past, or like even during this month, like August, you've been like really surrounded by other people, is what I'm hearing. Like maybe you're in a lot of social situations, but I think in September there's going to be a lot of chances where you can, and you are being encouraged to like just focus on yourself more, like trying to ground yourself more, and look within. I know it's like it sounds cliche to like say that, but take a look within and like reflecting on your life so far. And like the sun is also about like doing things that are like really in alignment with what you truly want in your life. So I think like just having more light and having more fun, light in a literal sense or metaphorical sense, doing things that bring a lot more joy into your life. I think in your career and studies, if you're not taking a break from work, then there's going to be opportunities at work or in your studies for you to really connect to the part of yourself that needs nourishing. Yeah. Or I think if you're a student, there might be like a project or like an assignment coming up that is like has something to do with something you really like. And so it's like a treat. It's like a little treat from the universe, from all the projects of like all the assignments or like essays or tests of the things that you don't really enjoy, but it's part of your program, as an example. Yeah, there might be something at work or out of work that will bring you back to yourself a lot more and will kind of bring back a lot of joy that's sorely needed in your life, I'm hearing. Okay, so for your self-development, we have King of Wands, okay, and Six of Wands, beautiful, okay. The Six of Wands here, you see this wreath. Six of Wands is very much about like victory and just like proving yourself. You don't owe anyone this, but it does feel good to like, just show others who haven't believed in you in the past that you can do something, right? King of Wands and Six of Wands, very much like victorious energy. But I think this is you proving yourself, to your own like preconceived notions and your own like toxic beliefs. I'm hearing like you might come to a point where you realize a lot of, or like even right now you're realizing a lot of your beliefs and like the pressure that you put on yourself is not real, or it's not based on love, or it's not based on something actually that is important to you. It's just based on what you are conditioned to believe. um I think for self-development, I think in September you will really, yeah, like it continues with all of this, like the main themes, like you will really step into who you truly are, and like feel your connection with everything around you, with everyone around you, with the universe. And it will like rejuvenate you, and it will make you really inspired to take action towards the thing that really matters to you, and things that really light you up, like things that you're really passionate about, and you know that you're capable in. And yeah, and I think that would be very fulfilling for not only your soul and your heart, but also your like logical mind too. I think for a long time you kind of, maybe you knew this new path, or like this new passion, or like the things that you find fun or like fulfilling or joyful in your life. You already know how it aligns with you in a soul sense, or like in a heart sense. Like you know that whenever you, for example, like let's say you really like movies, and like you watch movies all the time, and like you already know that you, why you like it in a more like sentimental way. Like you know, you're like, maybe you're a very like emotional kind of person, but for a long time you never knew, you didn't know how to connect that to your logical mind. Like you can't like rationally explain why you like movies. But maybe this month you will, after you spend some time like looking inside, and like, yeah, all these opportunities to like connect to yourself, you kind of come to the conclusion, like a logical conclusion of why you like the things that you like. And like finally this missing piece that you've been trying to find for so long, it's finally here. And it's like, yeah, and it will bring you the full picture, the big picture of like why you want to pursue this thing, that really lights you up. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if there's any other thing from here. I'm hearing, if this is not you, if this King of Wands is not you, it could just be someone else in your life doing something they're very passionate about. And I think that could lead you to a place where maybe you don't, okay, there's, for some of you, you don't really know exactly what you really want to do. And so this Sun and this Hermit is maybe like a chance to experiment within your job, or when, if you're like taking a break, then maybe you're going on a lot of like different classes, or like different like workshops to try to find what you really like in your life. And in that example, if you're part of that group, then I think this King of Wands is like, you might see someone being really passionate about something, and that inspires you to also find your passion, if you haven't found your passion yet. And yeah, and it's just like, I think self-development, I think you will find that thing that you've been missing. There's a strong emphasis on like something you've been searching for so long finally coming into fruition, but like more internally. Like you will have like an epiphany of realization that, oh, this is actually what I want to do. Oh, like this is what I really enjoy consuming, or like watching, or like, yeah, or like receiving. So I want to receive more of this in my life. And then you try to, and then I think at the end of the month you will kind of devise a plan of how you can bring about this thing in your life. It doesn't have to be a career. It can just be something that, like a hobby, like an interest that you've never really given into, but then at your job, or like when you're on vacation from your job this month, you will find, yeah, you will have a chance to give into that interest, or that hobby, or that new creative endeavor, and it will I'm hearing like change your perspective on everything. Okay, so finally we have this daily life card. Okay, Page of Wands. Okay, this also came out in Pile 1's reading, so there might be more confirmation from that if you feel called to watch Pile number 1's reading. But Page of Wands, I think during your daily life, yeah, a lot of Wands energy here too. During your daily life, you will have more, there might be more chances for you to pursue what you want to do, and like even just small things. For example, if this new passion that you're trying out is like, maybe you want to get into the arts, maybe you want to do something creative, maybe you want to start drawing or like start designing. This might be like, maybe your roommates is having like a party or something, and they ask you to like design like a banner for that party or like an invite, and like this is like a very low stakes thing that you can do because it's just like a small party, and they're just asking as a favor, so there's no stakes to it, and it's like a chance to practice, right? So I think might be circumstances like that where like people around you might ask you for favors to do certain things, and like coincidentally you're trying to like explore that part of yourself as well, and like so it works out like it's a win-win for everyone. So I think it's going to be really fulfilling for you to take on these, I'm hearing side quests like a character in a video game, like a side quest that doesn't really have a lot to do with your life as you have lived so far, but it might open up a new door or like open up a new hobby or a new interest that you might like implement into your life from this point on. Yeah, really beautiful energy so far. It seems like you're gonna have a lot of fun and a lot of perspective this month simultaneously. Yeah, you can see it most clearly in the Korean studies. Also, something I just noticed too is like I just felt pretty congested during your reading, and so like not stuttering. Well, I did stutter a few times too, but I think something that you might be struggling with is like maybe sometimes you're very, very excited to get something out like off your chest, and like you just act without thinking, or like you say something without really thinking it through. So I think a lot of this like meditative state, like looking within energy and like seeing things for what it is rather than what you think it is really going to be very beneficial for you to really convey yourself in your most authentic way, rather than like letting your excitement and your eagerness cloud your judgment. Okay. Next up, we have some important dates and events. So I'm gonna use Uno for this. I don't think I've ever seen anyone, like any reader, use Uno, but I don't know. I've used it a few times and like I feel like it works for me. So okay. So we're gonna look at some important dates during September to keep an eye out, and some events that might be happening on those dates, or like those, like the number sometimes doesn't have to be dates. It can be like, like some numbers that pertaining to the dates, or like pertaining to the situation around the date, or like the event that's gonna happen. I hope that makes sense. It's just like just a glimpse into like very specific things that might happen. Yeah. Okay, and the events that might happen during these dates or these circumstances during September for pile 2. I'm also hearing like, oh my god, I'm also hearing there might be a need to keep things organized and not, I'm hearing like if you feel like your life is a little bit out of control, maybe the first thing to do is just to clean your space and like keep things organized and like control what you can control, like if you're, for example, if you've applied to a bunch of jobs or something, and like the results of those, like you can't really, you know, like you can't control that, you know, like you have to surrender that. But the thing you can't control is like maybe your room or your house is like really messy, and you're just saying to yourself like, oh, I'm gonna clean that, I'm gonna reorganize everything once I get this thing, once this external outcome comes, then I will control the things in my life. But I'm hearing like maybe right now in your waiting period, you can take control of your life in the meantime. You know, like you don't have to wait for some external sign or like external confirmation. You can just do the things that you can do right now. That's just for some of you, but that message just came through. So, okay. So for dates, important dates in September, we have 6, we have 2, 5. Oh, interesting. Okay. So the 6th, 25th, and 0. Okay. There might be, with 0, I usually consider this as like unlimited or like something. Both the 0 and the changing color card, usually I interpret them as things happening surprisingly. And with the +2, it's like things happening faster than you think. Okay. 10 of coins, beautiful. Okay. Chariot, the World, and Queen of Cups. Okay. So I think like, so important dates, the 6th of September, the 25th of September. I almost said October for some reason. And then 0 and +2. So I think there might be an ending of some kind that this feels like very much expected. So maybe you have submitted your 2-week notice or something, and you're just waiting for it to be processed, or you just submitted like a letter of resignation or something. I'm hearing that would be processed faster than you think, and then the ending might hit you faster than you think. It's like it's something you expected, you just didn't expect it to come so quickly. But it's an ending of a chapter of your life in some kind, and I think that will propel you into a state of being more in tune with your emotions and starting this like very meditative, introspective period of your life. 25th, with this, I think there might be something surprising happening around 24th, 25th. Might be someone coming in with, I'm hearing apology, but it doesn't have to be, some kind of communication. Okay, there might be some communication coming in for 24th, 25th of September, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna take you completely by surprise. Yeah, I don't know much more about this, but yeah, very specific message. And then around the 6th, 10 of coins, I'm hearing some kind of heirloom. It's what I'm hearing. Maybe there might be some like hand-me-downs that you're gonna receive in around the 6th or 7th or even 5th of September that will help you see clearly, is what I'm hearing. Like maybe this has something to do with this situation, dealing with someone hot-headed. This heirloom or this hand-me-down thing, or like something that you discover from your family or like your lineage, might really be a pivotal point of this whole process of you seeing things more in the big picture. Okay, so it could be, for an example, like maybe you this is very stupid, but like maybe your family is like full of teachers, and like you are a teacher right now, like you're just like following in the footsteps of everyone else in your family, and you feel very content about it. But then around the 6th of September, there might be some information coming out about like maybe one family member of you were actually not a teacher, and they did something else, like maybe they were a farmer or something. And so this might inspire you to like take a month off work and like actually go work on a farm and just like realizing that, oh, that's actually what I enjoy, and like seeing things how I've always been connected to nature. I've always liked these kind of things. Like even when I was teaching, I was like, like um really interested in maybe biology or like gardening or like agriculture. And I actually have a chance to do that, and like it all makes sense now because I have a member in my family who did that before. This is very very specific example, but I hope you get what I mean. Like, yeah, something from your family or from your past that might come up that will clear up a lot of confusion and will propel you forward towards your path of like getting into a more passionate state of your life and like doing things that you actually want to do more. Okay, so finally we'll get some guidance and advice. So for guidance and advice, I have this Hidden Worlds deck. So beautiful. Okay, just like things that you should do or like you should keep in mind during this September. Okay, I'll take 3 cards for this. Okay, one more spirit. What can pile 2 do or should focus on during this time? Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, the dolphin collar, pure, joyful friendship, loving help. Yes, okay. Kindred spirits, spirit companions, guides, comfort. And then the seer, future prospects, decisions to make, seeking guidance. Okay, there's a strong message of you. Maybe you are spiritual, or like you're trying to get into spirituality, or like reading tarot cards like this. Or like just something a little bit more intuitive. I'm hearing like you should really definitely lean into that a lot more this month. And dolphin collar, definitely like I know it says like joyful friendship and loving help. So definitely like maybe this situation or this situation even with your relationships might be very like taxing for you. So like don't be afraid to seek out for help, seek out for guidance and like support from the people you love in your life other than this person. I'm hearing there's some love here too, but we're not gonna unpack that right now. Yeah, just like do things that if you can afford it, do things that make you feel a lot more light and a lot more joy in your life. And call up on spirits or like family members who have passed on in your family, and even nature. This is also giving like connecting with nature. Like there's like these candles here and she's talking to like a fairy. So like definitely like connect with nature more and like seeing the magic of the natural world. I keep hearing nature a lot. So yeah, just like if you can't like go to nature from where you are easily, then you're being encouraged to like maybe like look into or like watch documentaries about like animals or like nature, and like just look into that more and like seeing how that can help you like widen your horizon and see things more clearly about your life. Like maybe things don't really seem like it's too relevant, but it actually is. There's a vibe like that. The seer. Okay, yeah, this is also just about like spirituality. So yeah, just like I think the main thing you're being guided to is like trying to find things that actually make your soul, like make your heart really sing, and do things that, yeah, just find more space for joy in your life, and like connect with the people in your life that has that light-hearted energy. And like, yeah, I'm hearing like maybe you are used to like being more like intense and like having more like deep conversations. In September, I think you're being encouraged to have more lighthearted, fun, like meet up with friends. Maybe like not just meet up to like have lunch or something, and like just do some fun activity together, like playing a sport together, or um like going to do like a workshop together, like things like that. And or maybe even like just going on walks in nature together. I think that would be very healing for you, and the people around you as well. And I think definitely like if you want to get into spirituality, like definitely look into it more. This is a sign that you're being guided to practice that more and like look into it more and incorporate it into your life in a way that makes sense for you. It doesn't have to be like you have to go through all the steps that every spiritual healer, like spiritual reader goes through. You can totally like transform the process of getting into spirituality or religion even in a way that makes sense for you in your life specifically. um yeah, that's all the messages I have. And yeah, just like overall connect with nature more. That's all the messages I have for you today, Pio 2. Thanks for being here with me. I hope you have a very fruitful September, and I hope that this was helpful and brings you some kind of clarity or like some kind of direction moving forward. And if you like this reading, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for being here again, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi to Pi 3 if you chose the Squirrel Friend and the Containing Multitudes Oracle card. This is going to be your reading. Okay, so firstly, we're going to look at your general themes or your general energy of the month of September. And then we're going to go into your specific aspects of the month. Okay, so spirits, Papaya 3, what is the general themes of September 2024 for them? Okay. Spirits. Okay. One more card for general themes. Okay. 2 cards came out together. Okay. Right off the bat, containing multitudes, and we have the squirrel. I'm seeing a lot of hard work. You might have like different duties in your life. So for example, you might be a parent and then you have like a full-time job or something, or you have like multiple jobs. That's what coming through. Or maybe you have a job and then you do something like a creative project on the side. But yeah, that's just the initial thoughts. Okay, 3 cups, slay. And 5 of swords. Okay. I think the general theme of your September, yeah, like I said, firstly, there's a lot about work. The Hierophant here is about keeping a routine. There might be usually the 8 of cups is like the 8 of coins, the 8 of pentacles is usually very it shows someone who's like working hard, but they're not too like down about it. They have like a pretty blank expression. But in this card, this person is crying, and there's a lot about like silent sacrifice in here. So I think there might be some dissatisfaction at your job. But I think for August, you're still pushing through it at your job or jobs. The Hierophant talks about routine and about like just like keeping a schedule and like just keeping with the status quo essentially. So I think even though there might be some setbacks or some things you're dissatisfied with in your job or jobs, I think there's a powering through energy. And I think you learn a lot of things about sacrificing and compromising within your professional aspect of your life. 5 of Swords and 3 of Cups here. I think there's a lot of opportunities to have fun and find community as well. This could be in your job or it could be like something completely unrelated. But I'm hearing there's gonna be a lot of like lighthearted fun to be had in this month. maybe a lot of parties or like a lot of chances to meet up with friends or to meet new people um, who have the same interests or have the same mindset. Five of Swords, this feels like something has already happened. Um, Usually, this card talks about betrayal and heartbreak. So I think you might be so a scenario I'm seeing is like maybe you work all day and then you party all night, and during the partying and like the high vibrational gatherings with friends or with people you want to meet, it's more like you're numbing your emotions, and then the morning after or like during the day when you're working, your wounds come up from this Five of Swords. So whatever heartbreak that you've been through, it could just be recently, but it also could be just like distant wounds from your past that's like being triggered to come up. Um, and I think you're dealing with that a lot in office hours. I'm hearing, like maybe something at your work like reminds you of something that happened in your past, like some past wound. Um, and maybe that's why you feel like at your job you have to be sober, you have to be like clear headed, but then when you're clear headed, this thing just comes to haunt you. And so once you clock out, once you're done with your job, you immediately go and find something that will numb the pain I'm hearing, or like distract you from this. But I think the main theme is like trying to find a balance within that, and like find a healthy balance within like still having fun and like living your life, but also like not use this as an escape and as a distraction, and use this as something that actually decompress you and like actually helps you heal, rather than just as something to replace, to as a distraction or as an excuse to not process your feelings. I think by the end of the month you will kind of realize that certain patterns are not healthy in your life, like certain coping mechanisms are not working anymore within your life. And um I'm not seeing a big change in that during September, but maybe this realization maybe at the end of the month will kind of catapult that change in like October or something. But there seems to be like juggling of different duties and different things you want to do within this month. Yeah, like I didn't realize it, but containing multitudes, right? Like there's a sense of like the main theme is like realizing many things can be true. Like, yes, I'm doing these things, like I'm having all this fun to help me forget about my painful past or whatever happened that was very sudden and like very painful for you. Yes, I'm having all this fun to forget about that, but I think you will be pushed to realize that, like it's good to have things to mediate the pain, but it's also good to go to the roots of the problem and learn the lessons that you're supposed to learn too. Like there's a need to find a balance in that, where to not go overboard on dwelling too much, but also not go overboard on trying to move on when you're not ready to move on. You know what I mean? Okay. So that's the general theme of the month, of like realizing many things can be true at once and finding a healthy balance for your life specifically. Okay, so we'll go into specific aspects of your life during September. Firstly, we'll look at close relationships. So any type of relationships that you might consider close doesn't have to be romantic, though it can be. And then we'll pull a few cards for your other relationships. So for example, if you work in like a service job, it could be like the customers you have to deal with or things like that. So like, yeah, this part is essentially about people that you have to deal with but you don't necessarily consider as like close. So it could be like roommates, could be like neighbors, could be like teachers, or like coworkers, or like mentors, customers. Yeah. Okay. Then we'll go into career and studies. You can claim both. Ooh, 6 of Cups, beautiful. You can claim both career and studies, or one of the two if you're just studying or you're just working. And finally, oh, actually not finally. And then after that, we'll look into self-development. So more like internal growth. It can be like inspired, or like it can be caused by external factors, but this is more like internal work. And then finally we'll have a look at your daily life, so more like routine, schedule, logistical things, finances, just your living situation. Okay, just one card for that. Okay, let's get into it. We have the Tower and Temperance in your close relationships. Oh my god. Okay. And then I think I'm just gonna flip them all up and then I'll talk about them. Okay. In your life, we have Judgment. Oh, this is like other relationships that are not close. So like acquaintances. Yeah. And then career studies, we have 6 of Cups and Page of Coins. Okay. That's really good. And then self-development, we have 3 of Cups. Again, 3 of Cups. And 10 of Wands. Okay. And finally, for your living situation, we have Knight of Swords. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, for your close relationships, the Tower and Temperance, I'm hearing this could be related to this 5 of Swords. Maybe this is the Tower moment. This Tower moment of something breaking is coming back up, and is one of the main themes that you have to go through. But essentially, in your... I'm really feeling like this Tower moment already happened. So I don't think, or it's gonna happen really, really soon after you watch this video. So maybe you already know that's gonna happen. But some big breaking point will happen, or has already happened. That will, like, you feel like your whole world is crumbling down. Which, if you are going through, like, I'm really sorry for this feeling, because I know it can be like really painful to go through a Tower moment like this. But I'm hearing like from that you will gain a lot of perspective and a lot of just like introspection is what I'm hearing. Like you will find a lot more balance in your life, and you will kind of realize things in a bigger picture. Or like, even if this Tower moment is something like pretty messy, let's say like a divorce or something, then you will find your sense of calm and peace within all this chaos. I think, yeah, for some of you, it's not like a specific event, like a breakup or like a divorce or anything. I think it's just like there's a lot of scary, chaotic things happening in your relationships. Could be like directly related to you or not at all, but you might feel overwhelmed by that, and you might feel like your whole world is breaking down. But from that, I think you will, after it has settled, I'm hearing after the dust has settled, you will find your sense of self being strengthened by that experience, and like finding the peace within the chaos is what I'm hearing. If you fall into that example of like something recently happened, or like some big trauma that's coming back up for you. So let's say you ended something with someone, and maybe it could be recent, it could be like from long ago, and it was really messy, and it left a wound in you, and it like you were really heartbroken over it. I think this month you'll be dealing with that a lot. Like you'll be dealing with the aftermath of that, and like your sense of self and your sense of self-worth, and your just like your desires and what you want in life, and like what this situation has taught you, I think you'll be thinking a lot about the things in your life right now that is related to this ending or this heartbreak. Because this came out in the relationship part, I think temperance is more about like it's a lot about self-love. It's a lot about like fulfilling your own cup. And I think if this is like, yeah, this person has like a halo around them, so like an angel. So this tower could very much be like someone passing away as well. Only take it if it resonates. Okay, I think if it is someone passing away, I think that already happened. Someone or like a pet passing away, which if that's the case, I'm really really sorry. But I think, yeah, I think another interpretation of the temperance here is could be like that person passing away or that thing that you lost. It could be a job, or it could be like a hobby that you no longer can do, or like, yeah, something like that, like something you lost, or like a potential of a relationship. This temperance is showing like that thing, whatever it is, that thing or that person, they are like looking down on you, like not looking down on you, like they are watching over you. And so that potential, let's say if it's like a potential of a friendship, like maybe you really wanted to be friends with this person, but then you fucked up, or like they fucked up or something, and then it ended in a really bad way. This temperance is here to kind of like remind you that, you know, like that potential of happiness, that potential of like good memories, like making good memories, is still there. It just doesn't really manifest in this way, but that doesn't mean that's not possible. Yeah, so there's a lot about like refinding that sense of truth within yourself, and like just like filling your own cup, and having trust that whatever you lost is still there. You know, like the things that you associate, the feelings that you associate with that thing, is still possible for you in the future. It's just not like it just did not manifest in the way that you wanted it to. Doesn't mean that it's not possible at all. Yeah, take it as it resonates. But yeah, I think there's a sense of duality here. I don't think it's gonna be a linear process. I mean, like, if it's actually about loss and like grieving, obviously grieving is not like a linear thing, and it's so much different for like different people. So this is just saying like, to in your close relationships, if you're feeling a little bit impatient, this is kind of saying like, just take your time with it. And again, like realizing like many things can be true at once. And you know, like you might be, one day you might feel healed about something, and then the next day it all just come crashing back down. And this is just to say like, have patience on yourself, and like just give yourself the time and space to heal over this tower moment, because it is, no matter what it is a really painful thing to go through. But you will find peace eventually. And a big part of the peace you will find is within yourself. So like you already have it. Okay, that's in your close relationships. I think with the judgment here, with other people that you might have to deal with, this feels like an aftermath of some kind of scandal. So you might be in the public eye. You might have some kind of status, or like maybe even if you're not like famous, you might be like a well-known member of some community. Take it as it resonates again. But I think, yeah, let's say, for example, let's say this tower moment is like you breaking up with someone and you're both in the public eye. Yeah, and then you're trying to like heal and find peace within yourself. So like all the people that like maybe watches over you and your relationship, they might have a lot of things to say. And this is just to, I think this card is here to show that the truth will come out. Like the truth will come out, and if you did nothing wrong, then you have nothing to fear, you know? Like there is a lot of like unveiling here. So yeah, so I think Yeah, this card is here to show like in your external circle of like people you don't really know that well, but you might have to deal with, there might be some judgment, maybe some unfair judgment towards you. But just know like the truth will come out, and like if you have done things the best to the best of your abilities and like with good intentions, then that's not gonna go unnoticed. That's what I'm hearing. If you don't relate to like being in the public eye, then I think the other people in your life who you're not too close with, there's just gonna be a lot of like speculation, I'm hearing. Even if you're not in the public eye, just like the people who know of you, there might be some gossip around you. So like just be prepared for that. And not all of it is true, and not all of it is coming from like good intentions, just to just to support you. And so just be mindful of that, and just be careful of who you listen to is what I'm hearing, because maybe not a lot of people have your best intention at heart, and I'm hearing. And follow your own moral compass. I also want to point out is with the previous piles, when I did this like looking into specific aspect of your month, I didn't feel the need to like give a lot of advice, but I'm giving a lot of advice in your pile. So maybe you do need a lot of advice right now, or you feel like you need a lot of advice. I'm hearing, yeah, I'll just take the guidance from here as much as it resonates with your life, but also like it's okay to ask for advice from other people in your life too. Just be discerning with who you ask, but if it's like people who you actually trust, like close relationships in your life, I think asking for advice from the people who you know love you will lead to a more clarity of your situation, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so about your career and studies, we have Six of Cups and Page of Coins, or Page of Pentacles. This is really beautiful. Like Six of Cups is a very like loving card, a very like youthful, fun, like memory filled card of childhood. And it always like when I see it, it always reminds me of the concept of unconditional love. So I think in terms of your career and studies, you might have opportunities to do things that like reminds you a lot of the happy memories that you've been through. And I think that would be very beneficial in showing you the potential of happiness within your life, especially because you've gone through this heartbreak in the past, or like recently. Yeah, so I think you should cherish and like try to enjoy the good vibes, like the happy memory inducing part of your job or your studies right now. Not right now, but in September. And Page of Coins, there's a lot of opportunity to grow or invest. This really feels like an investor to me. So there might be a new opportunity coming in for you to choose to do something that like relates to your home life, is what I'm hearing. Like your home country is what I'm hearing. Like maybe you did something, maybe you have an opportunity to explore your heritage or your memories when you were a kid. And it's gonna be like, based on this Page of Coins, it's gonna be something very fruitful and something that can make you very successful in the future. And not only that, like I said before, it also like relates to how you can deal with problems in your relationships as well. So this is like killing two birds with one stone kind of vibe. Yeah, it's just like good vibes in career and studies. There's gonna be a lot of opportunities or just one really good opportunities about like doing things that bring you back to the child within yourself and bring you back to your roots is what I'm hearing. Bring you back to your roots, to your element that has a potential to be something very fruitful, but it also like will help heal the wounds that you have in your personal life as well, like outside of professional realm. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing this is something that maybe you have forgotten about in a long time, and it comes back. For example, like maybe you like applied to something and then like 5 months ago, and then finally like the result for that thing comes back and they're like, oh, I forgot that I applied to that thing. I thought it was just like for fun, you know, like maybe you applied with no expectations, but now you're actually getting a chance to do it. So I think like within career and studies is going to be very fruitful for you, and it's going to be very happy, and yeah, you're going to feel like it seems like there's a lot to do and a lot to learn, but you're going to feel lighthearted. You're not going to feel overwhelmed by it because it's something that you truly really like to do. So a lot of the hardships and challenges that you might face within this process feels like it's not too much because it's something you like to do. And yeah, and you might meet a lot of people in your career studies that might have the same hobby as you when you were a kid, or like might share the same background, or like, yeah, like a lot of like-minded people that will just remind you of home a lot. This card talks about home to me, and in this case it feels strongly about like I feel strongly that it's relating to something that feels like home for you. So I think within your career and studies it's going to be a really good month for you. Okay, now within self-development we have 3 of Cups and 10 of Wands. Okay, so 10 of Wands is usually about like, you know, kind of hitting your limit. It's like things burning out, like, yeah, there's a strong feeling of burning out. Interestingly, this came out in self-development and not career and studies, so I don't think this is like creative burnouts. So like if you're an artist or something, or if you're a creator, I don't think that you're gonna be burning out in that sense, but I do think that there's a way that you've been conducting yourself that is not, you can't hold it up anymore. So let's say you've been masking for whatever reason, maybe not like literally masking like wearing a mask, but like masking your behaviors. Maybe you have some unconventional ways of going about life, and so maybe for the longest time you've believed that I have to like hide this part of myself to be accepted in society and like to do what I need to do, which is I don't know your like specific situation, so I can't comment on that, but I think in September you will come out of a phase where you will realize that way of conducting, it might bring about benefits, but you feel like you can't handle it anymore. There's a sense of like I'm done with this. Like I know that I have to do this and this for certain reasons, but now I can't. Like I feel like maybe you will come to a point of realization that, you know, like the pros are not the pros of masking, the pros of not showing up genuinely is not outweighing the cons anymore, and you just feel heavy. You just feel heavy, and you want to shed all this costume, is what I'm hearing. All this costume, all this extra weight that you take on, and you just want to be truthful, and you just want to be honestly yourself. And I think after you do that, you will find community. I think 3 of Cups here, 3 of Cups too, like this is really important to you. I think, yeah, like obviously like when we talk about the themes of the month, I talked about like not like overdoing things and like not like using this as an escape and as a distraction. This is saying like finding community in this way, finding people who are like you, who are like you and who like you in your most genuine self is going to be really healing. And yeah, there's a vibe of like others might think that you're indulging, but I think you realize that you deserve to indulge in this. Maybe you've never had community in this way, and so finding community after you shed all your fake skin is going to be really healing, and like a lot of fun energy is what I'm hearing, like fun supportive energy from others who are like you and who like you for who you are. It's going to be very healing for you, and it's going to like help you boost your own self-worth. It's not like you're using this outside validation to validate yourself, but it doesn't, like, it does help, you know, is what I'm hearing. Like, you're not solely just relying on external validation, but that external validation is very necessary for you to come to terms with yourself. And over time, you will develop that sense of self-respect and self-worth by yourself. But I think because you've been hiding so much of yourself in the past, this is a necessary first step for you to, you know, even come to terms with the fact that you can exist genuinely, and not having to mask yourself. Yeah, so like really beautiful energy of like stepping out of your shell, whether it is the shell that you place upon yourself or the shell that you've been forced into by existing in this society, and stepping out of that and into a community of like-minded people. And I think that's going to be really healing for you to push forward and find, like, stand by yourself and like find validation within yourself, like finding fulfillment and abundance from who you are. But I think like during September, it's just going to be like the first step of that journey. Yeah. And then finally, for daily life, like logistical things, we have Knight of Swords. I don't know why this gives me like inspector vibes. So maybe you live in an apartment or something, and there's going to be some kind of inspection happening during September that will bring about like new perspective. I'm hearing, if it's not an inspector, it could be like you or your roommates or like the people that you live with, bring to the apartment of the place you're living someone new, maybe just to visit or maybe to stay. Like maybe you have a new roommate, and that person will share some really valuable perspective that you never thought about before. And I think that will lead to, it's giving some kind of revelation that you realize. It could be positive or negative. It could be like maybe there's some glaring problem that you've never realized about the place you're living, or you could realize how blessed you are, and you become even more grateful that you're living in where you are living. But there's definitely like some kind of person or some kind of maybe organization. Yeah, for some of you, for a really small number of you, they might be filming something in your apartment building, or like they will make a show, or like a this is very specific, but like, yeah, they will, like, there's some kind of coverage, like media coverage of the place you're living, and from that you will gain new perspective about your living situation, and you will take action towards it, or you're being asked to take action towards, like, from that realization. Yeah, very, very specific, so only take it as it resonates. Nine of Swords, I also think like there might be, if you're living with roommates, or like if you're living with other people, or even like with pets, I think there's going to be a lot of more communication like straightforward communication within your living situation, or like you might be talking to, if you're living alone but you live in an apartment building, you might be talking to your neighbors a lot more. And I'm hearing like, yeah, it's more like friendly. I don't think it's like anything too deep, but like I think that sense of normalcy in communicating with others in your day-to-day life will kind of bring you some kind of routine that, you know, like you never thought that you have in yourself. Maybe you've always been like pretty, maybe intense, I guess. Like you preferred like deep connections in the past, and this kind of like casualness of like just talking, oh, I'm just talking to my neighbor, but we're just talking like really casually and like really surface level, will kind of make you realize, oh, I can do that and still have deep meaningful connections with people. Like I can be casual sometimes, and like it will make you realize that you have that part within yourself too. Again, like pretty specific energy, so take either one or both. It could be like both of that could be happening. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing for your month at a glance. And then for this part, I'm gonna use Uno. I don't think I've ever seen any other reader use Uno in a tarot reading, but for me, when I asked about like, not, well, I guess when I asked about dates, or like when I asked about like specific numbers that might have significance, I found Uno like really significant, like really accurate for my readings for myself in the past, so I'm using it now. Which essentially we're just looking at like important dates that you might want to keep in mind. One, okay, so it could be literally the 1st of September, and then we're gonna look at like what kind of event is gonna happen within those dates, or like what kind of change, or like why it's a significant date. Okay, one more. Actually, I'm kind of feeling called to get one more. Okay, then we're gonna look at what kind of events gonna happen first. Oh my god. And finally this. Okay, actually, okay, give me 1 second. Spirits, kind of events gonna happen, significant events. Okay, +4 in skip, interesting combo. Okay, 6 and change color. Okay, so right off the bat, the 1st and the 6th of September might be significant. There's 2 of coins, 3 of coins, 3 of pentacles, the Magician, and 9 of wands. Okay, so usually I interpret these change color card as something like happening out of the blue, like surprisingly. So I think there's gonna be some, I'm hearing some kind of ending, some kind of like stop that you've been anticipating for a while, and you don't know when it's gonna come in. I'm hearing it's gonna come in at the time that you will never expect, in September. So like, I can't really give an example for that, so like just take it as it resonates. This +4 and then skip, I think something that you might be expecting to happen in September, this kind of gives me like all or nothing vibes. So I think it is something that you will have to take action towards. If you were hoping for something to happen, and you were thinking like, oh, it's gonna happen to me, like I'm not gonna have to do anything for it to come in, I'm hearing you might have to take some kind of action, and then it can go either way. It can go 0 or 100. Again, that's pretty specific, so take it as it resonates. And then 6, we have 3 of coins. So during the 6th of September, or like around that time, 6, 7, 8 of October, of oh, I said October, so October could be significant too, or this could bleed into October. But the 6th of September, there might be some offer about a collaboration, or you might be learning some things from the people around you during this time that will kind of help you deal with your situation. So for example, it doesn't have to be anything directly related to your situation, but maybe you saw someone walk their dog and they have a very specific route that they go when they walk their dog, and so you're like, oh, I can implement that with my dog or like with my cat, you know, like it could be something like that, like something that you saw someone doing during these days, like this period in September, could help inspire you to find a solution in your own situation. Or you can learn something directly, you know, like it could go either way. And then the first, we have 2 coins. I think there's a significant decision that you will have to make on September 1st, or even like August 31st, like the end of this month, the beginning of next month, the end of August, the beginning of September. There might be some choice that you might have to make, and it will be significant throughout the whole month. Okay, so finally, let's get some advice. Okay, sorry, my camera just died when I was recording the shuffling, but essentially this is your advice and guidance. I also think from the fact that it did not record that part, it's showing like sometimes it's okay to start over. Like your biggest advice, I guess, or like the biggest guidance right now is that it's okay to, like, you know, skip some steps sometimes if it's not for you, or like it's okay to, yeah, if you feel like something is not working out, you can just try again. And like maybe you don't even need to change your method at all. Maybe it's just like it's a faulty take, or like it's a faulty thing, and so you just do again and you do it kind of exactly the same, but maybe the outcome could be different, you know. There's a notion that if you keep doing things the same way, it's not going to turn out different. But you know, like life is very chaotic. Like a lot of things are unexpected. So like if you truly believe in some kind of method and you know it's just like that one time it didn't work out because of whatever reason, but you still believe in the method that you did it up to that point, then it's okay to just do things exactly the same, you know. That could just be for some of you, but I just felt called to say that. So your actual advice from the spirits, we have the Light Priestess, which has number 6. Again, 6. So 6 could be very significant. So pay attention to when you see like repeating 6s, or just like randomly you see the number 6 somewhere. It could be like a sign that divine timing is like it's divine timing for you to act on something, or like it could be confirmation. 42, Tree of Souls, also 4 plus 2 is 6 again. And then 25, open like the lotus. So I think the biggest advice is there's 2 sides of this. One is like finding community. I think it's going to be very beneficial for you to find people who are going through the same thing. Could be like some kind of support group, could be something more casual than that, but maybe someone who gone through the same tower moment. Take it as it resonates, but could be like someone who, like, for example, like maybe you're an artist, but you also do, you also play chess. Let's say that. So like finding a community of artists is not enough. Maybe you should find a community of artists who also likes chess, you know, like something niche like that, like trying to like widening yourself by finding community, but also like narrowing your search, if that makes sense. Like don't look for just like bigger communities and then you feel overwhelmed. Just look for like a group of solid people who know what you're going through, and like, you know, like who you know can relate to you. I think that's going to be really helpful in this time, especially if you're going through some kind of heartbreak. or like you have gone through some heartbreak in the past, I think it's gonna help with this temperance energy tremendously. I know it's harder said than done, but like if you have any chance to meet people who you know have gone through the stuff that you have gone through, or who have the same kind of interests or the same weird combo of interests that you do, then take those chances and like try to meet new people. I think that's going to be really beneficial. And then when you actually meet them, like don't hold back and open up. I think opening up and like showing your true self and like not being afraid to take up space and not being afraid to, you know, like show your most authentic self is going to be like a key point in what you need to do, or what you need to remember during September. Oh, that rhymes. Yeah, like flowering, spirit, revelation, maturity. And yeah, I definitely think throughout this process you will mature a lot, and you will get to know your own soul a lot better. And then finally, the bright light priestess. I think this is saying like in a more literal sense, maybe try going like cloud gazing or stargazing if you have the conditions to do that. But I think, or like just find like an empty space, like just find somewhere where you can exist and you feel the vastness of the space around you. It will help put things in perspective more, I'm seeing. In a more metaphorical sense, I think this card is saying like just connecting to the light part of yourself, like the part that lights you up, like the part that, like the things that you do that just like brings joy to your soul. And don't like bother with things that bog you down if you can't afford to do that, obviously. Don't entertain the things that you do out of autopilot, or you feel like you're only doing out of duty. Obviously do things like discerningly, like if you have some duties that you have to do, like some responsibilities, like I'm not saying like ignore those, but do it as much as you can. Just focus on the things that bring you joy and bring light into your life more. Yeah, I think that's all the messages I have for you today. Thanks for joining me. If you found this helpful or interesting in any way, leave a like or comment or subscribe if you want to. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you on the next time. Bye. Hi there, pile 4. If you chose this little cat keyring and this maternal energy oracle card, this will be your reading. Okay, so first we're gonna look at your general energy and themes of the month. I think I'm gonna put this here. Okay, so spirits, what are pile 4? Okay, right away. Wow. General energy of September 2024. Okay. I feel called to get another card. For all the other piles, I only got 3 cards before you guys. I'm feeling 4, actually. Eternal energy here. And 3 of Wands and King of Swords. And then finally we have Justice. Okay. Okay. So I think the main themes of September for you guys will be surrounding some wound that has to do with, okay, maybe not wound, but some lesson or some event or memory that has to do with studying. So it doesn't matter if you're studying right now, or if you're a student right now, like a college student, or if you are now just working and you studied in the past. There's some wound about, yeah, I keep saying wound, but I think that's significant. There's some wound around maybe the ways that you have studied in the past was kind of frowned upon, is what I'm hearing. And this month is you reclaiming the way that you do things. Oh, another thing that comes to mind is like the way that maybe it doesn't have to be like about learning like in a very like professional environment. So could be like the ways that you learn how to do things, like you know, like we all learn, we all have different ways of learning. Some people learn better by like following like examples, and like some people learn better by hearing, or you know, like I don't know what it's called specifically, but just like, yeah, you have different methods of like retaining information and learning new information. So I think the themes of this month is like reclaiming the ways that you do things, no matter how unconventional it could be, or unconventional even just to the environment that you're in. And like kind of like being that maternal figure in your life to yourself, and saying like it's okay to just do things your way. And maybe, yeah, 3 wands here, it's a lot about like learning and improving yourself, and like climbing uphill is what I'm hearing. And like seeing, I think the main theme of this month is seeing the truth in that, in the fact that the way that you learn to do things, or the way that you make mistakes and grow from it, could be different from how other people grow. And that's okay. Like it works for you. But I think for a long time you have denied this to yourself, or like you have been pressured to take on other methods that might have worked for other people, or like might be very commonly appreciated by other people, but it doesn't work in your specific situation. And I think this month you will come to a realization of that, and I think that will really change your life for the better once you get to do things your own way, and not let others tell you how to do, how to live, I guess, and how to grow. And I think that will be very liberating. That will bring you a lot of freedom and sense of like momentum. And that the truth of the situation, it could be like relating to a very specific situation. So you could be, only take this as it resonates. If it doesn't, please let it go. But I'm seeing like someone who got expelled from school, or like someone who, maybe not expelled, but like someone who like just can't keep up in school, or like someone who, let's say they got to a training period for a job, and then finally they're being let go before their training period ends. If that's the case, like I really relate to you, but that's beside the point. I think, yeah, like just someone who is like kind of being discarded from some kind of situation just because of the way they do things is just different than everyone else, or different from how it's always been done before. And this is you like saying, fuck that, like I'm gonna go my own way. Oh my god, that song might be significant. I'm gonna go my own way from High School Musical too. But yeah, like you're just saying, I think this month you're really reclaiming your power, and just like do things that you do things in a way that feels most authentic and like most effective to you specifically, and not being sorry, like being unapologetic about your approach, and like finding places that will accept the way that you do things, and not places who will like only uphold how it's always been done before. Yeah, I think that's the biggest theme of this month. If it's not relating to school, or like work, or like studies, it could be relating to like some kind of community. Maybe you've been let go from some kind of community, maybe some fandom that you've in, because you have a different mindset of how to do things. And this is you like trying to still find community that has like people who are like who like the same thing, have the same interests, but they are more open-minded towards how you do those things. For example, like maybe you're in like a crochet club, or like a book club, but like your, let's say, a book club, but your way of reviewing books is not like conventional at all. Like you have like a way of writing, or like the way of discussing that's like more stream of consciousness. And this book club that you were in previously was like very like you know, like proper, and like they use like very structured like very like gr- grammatically correct um sentences, and like they don't really accept anyone who like don't take it too seriously like they do. But you, that's not how you like consume media, and that's not how you would like to discuss about books. It doesn't mean you don't like to discuss about books at all. It's just like you just need to find a community, or like a, yeah, like a group that just accepts the way that you like to do things. Does that make sense? Okay, let's go into your specific aspects of September. So firstly, we'll look at, okay, first we will look at your close relationships. And then it can be any kind of relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic, though it can be. Take whatever resonates. Do not force any messages if it doesn't resonate. And then we'll look at your other types of connections. So it, for this part, is like more people that you have to interact with, but you don't necessarily like have a deep bond with them. It's just like, you know, like your neighbors, or like, I guess, co-workers, or like if you have a public facing job or like a service job, then this could be your customers, or just like people you meet at events and then never again, you know? And then we'll go into your career and studies. Okay, get one more card for career and studies. And then self-development. And then we'll look at your home life. So home life is like your daily life, like mundane things. It could be financial as well. It could be like your living situation, like your roommates, how that dynamic is gonna be in September. Yeah, but more like logistical things. Okay. So for your close relationships, we have Six of Swords and Temperance and Four of Coins. Okay. And then for your other relationships, we have Knight of Cups. Interesting. And then for your career and studies, Six of Coins and Seven of Coins. Like, okay. And for your self-development, we have the Magician. And then the home life, we have the Lovers. Actually, I'll get one more card for self-development and one more card for home life. Okay, self-development, can you clarify? Magician, and then one more card for daily mundane life situation. Okay, we have Five of Wands. Okay, and then we have Two of Wands. Okay, so let's get into your close relationships first. I think this month there won't be an emphasis on you reaching out to people necessarily, or like you trying to like deepening your close connections. I think you'll be quite frugal, and I think you will, yeah, maybe you not reaching out is not coming from a point of you not wanting to hang out with people, or like not wanting to, you know, spend time with your loved ones. It's more like, I think you want to like focus on other aspects of your life, or I think you feel like you need to spend money or like spend some kind of resources to meet with the people that you love. Maybe you live far away from your loved ones, and like maybe you guys can only meet at a certain place, and that cause like complications. Or if you're just like, yeah, or like, I guess in your mind it could be like, you know, like maybe just like having lunch with friends, that's like also like more than what you usually spend on lunch, that kind of vibe. And I think you are more focusing on being at peace with not communicating too much with your loved ones. But on the other hand, I think there might be one or like multiple close relationships where the other party reaches out to you. So I think if you have been a very like active person in like trying to reach out to a lot of people in the past, I think this month, once you go, not like go silent, but once you become a little bit more passive, a lot of people might reach out to you first. And I'm hearing this is more like a surprise, but more like a happy surprise for you, because you've been, yeah, I'm hearing you've been a very active person in the past in terms of like reaching out to people and like, you know, like planning things. But I think there might be a lot of opportunities for you to hang out with people where you don't have to lift the finger, is what I'm hearing. Like they will plan everything and they will take care of everything, which is really, I'm hearing is like unusual for you, but you see that as a blessing, which I love that. I love that for you. Yeah, overall, I think within your close relationships, there's just gonna be like a restoring of balance. So yeah, like within that example of you like being really active in the past, maybe there've been times where you're very like overexerting yourself and like feeling a little bit underappreciated. So maybe that's why you're like holding back from like reaching out to people too, because maybe you have put in a lot of effort in the past, but not a lot of things have been reciprocated. But I'm hearing like during this month, there's gonna be a lot of restoring of balance of like people giving back to you what you deserve, especially in your close relationships here. Yeah, like a lot of messages. This card, this Six of Swords in particular, is giving online to me. So like, yeah, I'm hearing a lot of people reaching out online. This bird is also like very similar to like the old Twitter bird, RIP. Because now it's X now. But yeah, like yeah, it's even carrying a little envelope, which is also could be indicative of email. So yeah, you could be receiving a lot of invitations to hang out with your loved ones or spend time with your loved ones, and yeah, and like I think that's gonna bring you a lot of peace and like a lot of, yeah, a sense of balance within yourself and like within your relationship with those people. Okay, in terms of like other people you have to deal with, Knight of Cups, you could have a secret admirer, like, because especially because this Knight of Cups has like a mask. So it could be like someone, yeah, it could be someone who you are not in your realm of awareness, but they could come up to you and like saying, like, not confessing, but I guess could be confessing that, you know, like maybe your work inspired them in some way, or your presence inspired them, or like I'm hearing within your day-to-day life, there might be a lot of opportunities or like a lot of instances where you walk into a room and with this fiery energy of like just being unapologetic, people really sense that energy from you and they really admire that. They admire to be like so sure of yourself. They admire your really strong sense of self and your really strong sense of like what you want to do and like how you want to show up in the world. And I think that inspires a lot of people. And maybe a lot of them might not tell you that because like the mask also could be like not revealing who you are. So a lot of, yeah. So just know like within the circumstances or the situations or the environments that you're going to be in September, there's going to be a lot of people who look up to you. So for example, if you notice that you get a lot of looks, just know it's like it's from a point of admiration and adoration instead of something malicious. Okay, like people are not giving you dirty looks. It might look dirty, but like it's only because they want to be like you, you know. Okay. In terms of career and studies, 6 of coins and 7 of coins. I think there's gonna be some kind of opportunity to do more like community based work. So it could be more like a volunteer role. Um, doesn't have to be. It could be like an actual paid role. But what I'm seeing is like something within your studies or your career could be something that benefits a community rather than just benefiting one person or one or organization. Um, there's a sense of like, yeah, for example, if you're still studying, there could be some kind of project coming up in September that you might like interview a lot of people, or like it is something that will help a lot of people. Like maybe it will bring to light some kind of problem that a collective is having, and it's not just like conductive of only one person. Um, there's a lot of hard work that you're going to do. So like maybe if you haven't started any project, I'm hearing you will start some projects soon, and it's going to be like a little bit tedious and a little bit monotonous in terms of working. But yeah, so September is like more hardworking middle stage of a project, if that makes sense. Yeah, so like if you have started a project recently or you started a new job recently, um, yeah, this is more like very stable energy, like nothing out of the blue is gonna happen. Um, so yeah, with these two coming together, 6, 7 is also like step by step kind of vibe. Um, yeah, I'm hearing just a lot of like community based projects or like roles that you're gonna step in, and it's gonna be a lot of hard work. Um, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I don't think there's anything else in here. Um, if you haven't started something but you kind of sense that something's coming soon, this is also confirmation that something is coming soon. Like someone will offer you some kind of role. It might not be exactly what you wanted it to be, but I'm hearing like with this hard work energy, you can. I'm hearing you can like list this in your CV or something. Like it will be good for your resume. I'm hearing, regardless of if you get paid for it or like if what you tangibly get out of it doesn't matter. Like this is something that will, yeah, I keep hearing like look good on your look good on your resume, but it is going to be a lot of like maybe even brutal work. But it is a chance to grow, and it is gonna look good. I'm hearing like it's doing good for people, and it's gonna look good on your profile at the same time. Okay. Um, in terms of self development, we have the Magician and 5 of Wands. So I think this month, like September, you're gonna really like based on the themes, like the general themes of the month. I think yeah, you're gonna try to step into yourself more and like do things your own way. And I think you will achieve that. Like you will get to a point where you're really really satisfied with yourself, and like you've established some kind of method that will stick with you for a long time, that feels genuine to you. But I think during the month there might be a lot of obstacles for you to get to that point. There might be obstacles from other people who are, I'm hearing, competing with you, but it could be that. It could be like it could be like, okay, for example, it could be maybe you get into a new team and you're like the newest team member, but you want to change the ways of doing things. And so your team leader kind of like hold like a vote, like who wants to like stick to the old ways and who wants to stick to the new way that you have invented. I'm hearing. And there might be like people against you in that. There might be like a lot of instances like that. But what I'm hearing like is like you're gonna stick, or like you're being pushed to stick to your guns and like stand your own ground. And if the one time that you suggest something it doesn't go through, you can try to convince them. Like don't give up on the way that you think is right. Maybe like be a little bit more headstrong in this situation. And I think that will lead to a lot of like sureness within yourself. I think I think what you're being pushed to do is like you should still like know that that is like that's not a bad idea. It's just like not fitting to that specific situation. And like yeah, I think a big theme for self development in this month for you is to like even if your ideas get rejected, even if your suggestions get discarded, I think you're gonna find a way to like accept that, like accept your reality that those things that you wanted cannot happen, but also like keep that within yourself, like keep those ideas, keep those like sprouts of potential within yourself and not like discard it completely. Does that make sense? And so when the right time comes, you have all these already developed ideas, and it's not like you, oh, I got rejected once, so like it must be a really bad idea, so I just discard all this work that I've done. You know what I mean? And then in your home life, we have the Lovers, and we have Two of Wands. Okay, so like two, even though the Lovers is 6, but like there's 2 figures here, and there's 2, so the number 2 or like repeating 2s could be significant. I'm hearing in your home life there's gonna be a lot of planning for the future based like, and at its core is based on love. Based on love, it could be like love for yourself or love for another being. So for example, maybe you live in a really small apartment, and this month you are like trying to devise a plan or like trying to look at places that are a little bit bigger, but not just because you want to live in somewhere bigger without any like real reason. It could be because you want to have a bigger space because you love your friends so much, and like you want to invite them to your place, and like you want to share your living space or your living situation with the people you love. Or it could be you and maybe you have a partner or like a loved one, that you want to move into a bigger place with them. And so that decision to move in together is to support each other, is to share this life together, and it's based on love. So you do a lot of planning to move in together. Yeah, it seems like this planning around your living situation is like it's a long time coming, and this is just like the beginning. It has a vibe like that. Or maybe if you want to like have a pet, for example, and like right now your space is good for you right now, but because you want to expand your circle and you want to adopt a pet, you need a bigger space, you need like equipment, and you need like pet toys or something. So you're planning, maybe you're planning to take on newer, like take on more jobs or take on more roles so that you can make enough money to, you know, like to afford like having a pet, something like that. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of planning, but I don't really feel a sense of urgency. So it's not gonna be, yeah, it's not gonna be urgent. It's not gonna be like out of the blue. It seems like this is something you've been thinking about for a while, but I think in September you're gonna like start planning a lot more, and like the bulk of September seems to be about planning based on love. Based on, could be love for yourself, could be love for some interest that you're into, like some hobby, could be love for some other person, could be love for a pet, could be love for anything, but it's all based on love. So I see this as a really good like improvement in your life. Yeah, but it's still in a very like preliminary, is that a word? Preliminary stage of planning. It's like baby steps for September. Okay, so let's get into some specific dates, like important dates or important numbers for September. I'm using an Uno deck. I don't think I've ever seen anyone use Uno in a tarot reading, but it has worked for me before. So yeah, could be like these numbers doesn't have to be dates, but yeah, if there's any dates that you should be aware of or like you should anticipate or anything, spirits, just show pile 4. Okay, sorry, it's dropped something. And then we'll see what are the events that are going to happen around these dates, or what are the events that are going to happen when you see like the repeating numbers that's going to show here. Okay. Okay. So first we have 6 and 5. So could be the 11th of September. So 9/11. Okay, I shouldn't laugh, but you know, or it could be the 5th and the 6th. So the 5th and the 6th of September, and the 8th of September, and then another 8th. Okay, this is pretty similar to, I think, pile 1. So you and pile 1 could cross. You and the people who watch pile 1 could cross path. And something big could happen for both of you. But that's just like a very specific message. This card, usually I interpret them as like something unpredictable or like unexpected. So yeah, so the 5th and the 6th and the 8th. And the 8th could have something unexpected. Okay, Knight of Coins and 4 of Coins and Queen of Wands. Okay. Okay, so I think around the 5th and the 6th, Nine of Coins, 9 of Cups. So like this confession, if someone were to confess to you, like some customer or like some, you know, people who are not in your life, people who are in your life but not in a close, significant way, someone could come to you and like offer you some, I'm hearing some help, with something that could be significant throughout the rest of September. It could be something that, yeah, I'm hearing this is something you anticipate. Maybe you will go and ask for someone for help during these dates, and like that person will play an important role in your September. The 8th, we have 4 of Coins, 4 of Pentacles, and Queen of Wands. I think, okay, what I'm seeing is like maybe like for the first half of the day on the 8th, something could be a little bit restrictive. Let's just say you have like a father figure or like a parent figure who is a little bit too protective, and like you ask them if you can do something and they said no, so you feel a little bit like claustrophobic is what I'm hearing. But then the second half of the day, you break out and you do that thing anyways. You don't wait for their permission, which I'm not condoning anything. I'm not condoning like sneaking out or anything, but you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It doesn't have to be like that, but like, yeah, there's a sense of like you thought you were not gonna be able to do something, and then the second half of the day you just go out and do it anyways. Yeah, take whatever resonates. Yeah, okay, so to recap, 6 or the 5th or the 6th of September, or the 11th, or and the 8th of September. It's going to be significant. Okay, finally we will get into the advice portion. So what should you keep in mind, or like what should you strive for or try to do within September? I'm using the Hidden Worlds Oracle deck. Super, super beautiful. I'll link everything in the description down below. Okay, one more. Okay. So we have Skyfire, messages, channels, information, 11, which is 6 and 5. Again, so the 11th could be significant. Resurrection, comeback, rebirth, renewal, 3 and 2 plus together is 5. So again, more confirmation on the 5th. And then homeward traveler. Okay. Completion, reunion, return. Okay, come back. Yeah, a lot of about like coming back to like a home. I think this is conducive of like coming back to the home within yourself, coming back to yourself, coming back to your soul, which is like in the main themes of the month as well, like doing things your own way and like doing things that feel the most genuine to you. And I think like just stripping back everything that's not necessary in your life and like just focusing on the core things that you really value is going to be really important and beneficial. Homeward traveler, this could actually just be like maybe it's good to like take a trip home or like take a trip back to somewhere where it's like familiar to you. So it doesn't have to be like your actual home. Like maybe you live really far from home and you can't really do that, but just like go to a place that reminds you of, I'm hearing a similar time. So like any place, or like it doesn't have to be a place. Maybe you could revisit some kind of TV show that you watched as a kid. And it might like inspire you to like do more like self-reflection. Yeah, just like visit or revisit some place that brings you a sense of comfort and a sense of home. And from that you will be rebirthed, and from that you will be like revitalized and like, you know, realize what's really important to you. And this rebirth is more like being reborn again, I guess. Like resurrection is like letting the parts that are not necessary anymore in your life go, and just keeping the things that are necessary, the things that are actually important to you specifically. And Skyfire, messages, channels, information. This could be like I'm hearing forum, so like maybe going on to, if you have any like questions about this thing that you're doing, maybe like find, yeah, I guess this is also a way to find community too, is to like find others who are doing things the way that you're doing. Maybe around you no one's doing it that way, but if you can find a community of people who actually do it the way that you do online, or like in some other like social environment, then it's going to be very beneficial to connect with them in that way and like not feel like you're alone in what you're doing or like how you're doing it. It could be like, yeah, this could also be like connecting with your spiritual side. Only take it if it resonates. If you're not spiritual at all, like don't take that message. But yeah, if you've been really interested in like spirituality or like divination or like witchcraft even, or like just connecting with your ancestors or like spiritual guides, then this is a confirmation and a message to just go for it and like try it out. Maybe this could be you go onto like a tarot forum, you know, like just like connecting with others who also like are interested in the things that you're interested in. But like that's going to be very beneficial for you to do in September. And yeah, that's everything I have for you today. Thanks so much for joining me and letting me read your energy. If you like this video, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Have a great September. Bye.